All right, Shalom, Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yahanna. This is the Monday night scripture breakdown class. Let's go ahead and clap it up. We've been teaching the truth according to the Bible since 1969 to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Lakia, bear with me 1 second. Lakia. We're teaching the truth according to the Bible to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans since 1969. We are the home of the truth. If you are in any other Israelite group, or if you are an individualite, you know what I mean, you decide to, study the Bible or whatever you want to do by yourself, unfortunately, you are not in the truth. And you know what I mean? That's love. You know what I mean? In the Bible, Christ set up a school of the prophets. You know what I mean? He passed it down to Peter. Peter, I believe, passed it down to Paul, but it was passed down from prophet to prophet. Even in the Old Testament, there was a school of the prophets. I mean, there was rank and order. There was one man who led the children of Israel, and you know what I mean, and upheld these standards. I mean, so according to those, not because you know what I mean, not because I said it, not because Commander General Yahanna said it, not because you know what I mean, the ISUPK is just so arrogant or just so stubborn. These are the traditions that were like these were the traditions that were upheld in the scriptures since the beginning of time. I mean, there's always been one man that you know what I mean, the you know what I mean, the Lord appointed to lead Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and it's the same to this day. So if you are not under this one banner, I mean, where it all began since 1969, then you unfortunately are not in the truth. I mean, and Commander General Yahanna already gave the order and the invite for Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans to come back. You know what I mean, come back home. You know what I mean? You need to talk to Commander General Yahanna if there's a offense or an ought, which is most likely where a lot of these breakoffs stem from. I mean, offenses with brothers where we refuse to just talk to one another. I mean, he been gave the invite for us to just come back. You know what I mean? If you in these other Israelite groups, or you an individualite and you got an offense, or you feel you know what I mean, whatever the case is, we take it up with Commander General Yahanna. You know what I mean? And let's come back home. Let's be a family again. You know what I mean? It's getting too close to the end for us to still be fighting one another about who's the best Israelite group or who's right or wrong. It's getting too close to, you know what I mean, Christ's return for us to be wrestling over scriptures, for us to be trying to fight over whether Ruth is a Moabite or whether she's an Israelite, or whether you know what I mean, whether Christ is a black man or whether color matters. You know what I mean, it's not worth it. It's time for us to come together and love one another, and you know what I mean, be a family, because it's about that time for us to leave. About that time for the Most High to shake the heavens and the earth and shake your oppressor out of his heavenly state, so that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans can rule as a family. You know what I mean, so let's get it right. All right. With that being said, you got any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the chat. You watching the channel, like, share, subscribe to the channel. You know what I mean? Push this truth so that we all can, again, learn as a family and come together. All right. You got any questions, put them in the chat. Any questions in the room? Or before you got a question or anything? Okay, no, sir. All right. If you or anybody in the chat think of anything, go ahead, just raise your hand. It ain't gotta be on topic. You know what I mean? It ain't necessarily gotta be on topic. I'll pause the topic for a second, answer the question, and we'll get back to it, or whatever the case is. But let me get Matthew the 16th chapter real quick. All right. There's Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you know what I mean? As I said before, we real divided as a nation of people. And a real big reason, you know what I mean, a real big reason that we're divided as a people is, of course, because of the 400 years of captivity that we spent in America. 400 years of slavery, having our culture and identity beaten out of us for 400 years. But, you know what I mean, the truth was put, like the scriptures say, well, I ain't gonna go there, but you know what I mean, the truth was put back in this earth, you know what I mean, in 1969, where now the truth about who the Israelites are is being revealed. I mean, the truth about who blacks are. You're not just a black man. You're not just a Hispanic or a Native American or some byword that they call you. You're not just some nigga or some wetback or some spick or some savage. I mean, whatever byword that they call you, you know what I mean? You're not those things, but we finding out that you are the true children, you know what I mean, children of the most high God. That Christ was black, that Christ was a man and not God. You know what I mean? That you know what I mean? These prophets that you read about, David, Solomon, uh, I mean Elijah, Elisha, you know what I mean? All these prophets, they were just like you. And they were dealing with the same things just like you. You know what I mean? We're learning those. You know what I mean? That all of those things were put back in the earth, you know what I mean, in 1969. And the proof is, you know what I mean? the all of these things were being revealed in 1969 to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But the proof is, you know what I mean? You just saw a couple months ago, Vladimir Putin just released the Russian icons and proved exactly what we've been saying for the last, what, 40, 50 years? I mean, you could do the math. Uh, what is it, like, what, 50, 60 years? I mean, they're releasing these you know what I mean, these Russian icons. If you look on that wall, I mean, if you ever been in a clean school, or if you could just get a book called The Russian Icons, it's pretty expensive though. But you know what I mean, if you come to any school, you know what I mean, the ISUPK in any city or zone that you in, you know what I mean, you'll see these pictures of these prophets and these icons that they had hidden in them caves in Russia that Vladimir Putin released to the public. You know what I mean, proving everything that we've been saying since 1969. But you know what I mean, we've been so divided. Another reason why we've been so divided is that, you know what I mean, despite our captivity, is that now that we're in captivity and now that your oppressor has given you the illusion that you're free, now we're using our freedom, quote unquote, to fight for a seat in our oppressor's kingdom. You know what I mean? And that's never gonna work. That's never gonna work. Uh let me get verse 25 real quick.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 25.
You get slack it, verse 24.
Verse 24. Then said Jesus Yahushua unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me.
See, this is what we're missing as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. See, we spent so much time in captivity. We spent 400 years in slavery under our oppressor. You know what I mean, that now that we're given some sort of illusion of freedom, now we chasing the American dream. We're not chasing, you know what I mean? We're not chasing freedom from our oppressor. We're not chasing to be I mean, we're not chasing to no longer be under our oppressor or be amongst our oppressor, because there was a point, I don't know if you know, but before our captivity in America, before our oppressor uh went to the west coast of Africa and bought us from the Africans, which we are not. You know what I mean? We were not underneath the so-called white man who is the devil, the Bible speaks, who is the number one deceiver of the earth today. And now they bought us like property. And 400 years later, now we're trying to be friends with them. We're trying to make families with them, make marriages with them. I mean, so we're not trying to fight to no longer be beneath them or be amongst them. We're trying to be equals to them. And the scripture just said, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. I mean, Christ was a revolutionary, man. He taught us to separate. He taught us to separate. He said he has not come but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You know what I mean? And then when he sent his 12 disciples, he sent them and said, go not to the Samaritans and go not to the heathen and into the house of the Samaritans where primarily your oppressor lived, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So not only was Christ sent to the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today, but he sent his 12 disciples that was under him to the Israelites, to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, so called today. That's the whole mission. So if you want to, if you you want to be Christ-like, like these Christians like to say, you know what I mean? Then you need to be on what Christ was on, and he was on, you know what I mean, saving his people. He was exclusively about his people. Like, go ahead, read on.
Verse 25. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it.
Do you understand that the election, right? We just got through with the election. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but we just got through with the 2024 election, right? And a lot of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans for a long time. This ain't new. I'm young, so it's a little, you know what I mean. I'm a little bit younger, so and I know a lot of brothers or brothers and sisters who either not familiar with the like how politics works, or it might be a little bit younger. It might seem new to you, but you know what I mean. I know this year or this election and the previous election, uh, was a joke to everybody. It was a joke. Everybody looked at it as a joke. You know what I mean? But we still insisted that we vote for what? What's the most common thing that everybody, even though both candidates were joke candidates, what's the most common thing that people say about, you know what I mean, voting? See if anybody got it in chat, see if anybody locked in. And this is going and this I'm asking this question because it's just gonna illustrate my point. And I just want blacks, I just want my brothers and sisters to really understand what we're saying. You know what I mean, even though if you know one candidate is, you know what I mean, you know both candidates are evil. You know both candidates are evil, but you feel like you gotta vote any day anyway. Salakia. What's the most common thing that we say in that regard? What you got?
Uh, I would say some people will say I like to hear people say all the time, especially the Christian people. They always say, "Oh, I'm gonna vote for the lesser of the two evils."
Give him a hand. That's exactly what it is. You got to vote for the lesser of two evils. Now, how much sense does that make? Where you know what that means? If you got to vote for the lesser of two evils, then that means the system that you're voting in, the system that you're trying to be a part of, and trying to, because we think that we're going to vote and change things with our vote. So the fact that you got to vote and try to make change by voting for one of the two evil options, then that lets you know that the empire that you are under and trying to vote in is evil. And that's what we got to understand. If we understood that, then we will understand a lot about America. We will be able to understand a lot about ourselves. We'll be able to have the courage, or at least build the courage to separate from our oppressor's kingdom. But reverse 25 again.
Con. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 25. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it.
So the reason why we felt the need to vote for one of the lesser of two evils is the same reason why we're gearing up to celebrate Thanksgiving. It's the reason why, you know what I mean? It's the reason why we sent our children out last month on Halloween out to these. We teach our children all throughout the year, don't talk to strangers. But on this one day, you go and dress up your child in a costume and you send them to another stranger's house in another costume and tell them to talk to these strangers and ask them for candy. I know a lot of you know what I mean, especially black folk. You know what I mean, during for Halloween, we like to take our brothers or we like to take our children out the neighborhood because we live in the hood. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody trick or treating or ain't nobody giving out no candy in the hood. So we like to take our children to another hood. You know what I mean? It's still evil as hell if you wanted to take your children out trick or treating in your neighborhood, but we taking our children out of the, you know what I mean, out of the neighborhood where we at least know our neighbors. We at least know, you know what I mean, the families that we live amongst. We at least know that they look like us and they struggle and suffer the same struggles and that we struggle with. But we take our children to our, to our oppressors' neighborhood where we don't know these people to go trick or treating. How evil is that? It's the same for the same reason we was voting, the same reason we did trick or treating, and it's gonna be the same reason why we celebrate Thanksgiving, and it's gonna be the same reason why you probably already got that tree set up in your house, huh? With the ornaments, and you already ready to go, playing the Christmas music every day. I hear it in the stores. It's for the same reason. The reason why we early celebrating Christmas and we ready to get ready to celebrate, Thanksgiving, and we celebrated Halloween, and the reason why we voted, it's all for the same reason. I'll read that one more time.
Verse 25. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it.
The reason why you celebrate all those things, knowing that they're evil, is because we're trying to save our life. We're trying to save our life. Because even though we know all of the things that I just mentioned that don't make sense, we're gonna do it anyway because we don't want to look we don't want to look a certain way. We don't want to lose our seat with our oppressor. Because if you ain't got that Christmas tree, you ain't got that Christmas decorations, you know what I mean? You don't eat that candy yam and that ham on Thanksgiving, your family's gonna be looking at you like you strange. Your family gonna be looking at you like you strange. Like you know what I mean? Like you too good. You know what I mean? You don't want to lose your seat. And that's a big problem. That's a big problem for us now, and that's been a big problem for us as a nation all throughout the Bible. If you read the book of Exodus, you know what I mean, we cried out to the Most High about our struggle and our suffering under the Egyptians. And then once the Most High heard our cry, you know what I mean, like it says in the first chapter, he heard our cry, he heard our suffering, and that we was, you know what I mean, that the Egyptians was oppressing us. As soon as he got us up out of that oppressive situation, when we was in the wilderness, the multitude started to question Moses and the Most High. It was like, did he bring us out here to starve? It would have been better for us in Egypt, where we at least had the flesh pots, where we sat by the flesh pots, where we at least had McDonald's. We can go to Chick-fil-A and get a a little sandwich real quick. We didn't have to we didn't have to hunt. We didn't have to, survive on our own. We didn't have to travel and build and sustain ourselves and find water and find food every day. You know what I mean? It's the same thing that we was going through then. It's the same thing that we going through now. When we was in that wilderness with Moses, we missed our seat with our oppressor. We're gonna get into it. Slacky, go ahead, read on.
Come on. The book of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 26. For what is a man profit if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?
See, what profit is it to you, black man, Hispanic man, and Native American? Profit would it be to you? Hey, Yabashita, Christ. I saw you in Dallas, you know what I mean, looking strong. Most High Christ, it was good to see you. Good to see you in class as well. What profit? We do everything that we do. We forsake our own culture. We forsake our own family. You know what I mean? The fact that we about to celebrate Thanksgiving, I believe, is what, this Thursday?
I don't know. See, I don't even know.
Most High Christ. You know what I mean?
No.
If I'm not mistaken, today's the 25th, so I believe it's this Thursday. The reason why we are a lot of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are gonna celebrate Thanksgiving on the third Thursday in November is because us celebrating Thanksgiving this Thursday is us forsaking our family. But what profit is it to you that you read that again, Baba Kashar?
Khan. Verse 26. For what is a man's profit if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?
So what would you profit if you gain the world? You know what I mean? You celebrate Thanksgiving and you're gonna look normal. You're gonna look like everybody else. You're not gonna stand out. You're not gonna look strange like the brothers and the sisters in the ISUPK. You're not gonna be ostracized. Nobody's gonna try to challenge your beliefs. if you decide that you're not celebrating Thanksgiving. Please.
So like if I mean this because this scripture also could be pertaining to some celebrity. Like I could use this as the P Diddy situation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like for the man, for what is the man's profit if he if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? That's man, that's pretty much in a nutshell right there. You know what I'm saying? Brothers in the celebrity, a lot of brothers they'll do anything just to get profit. They don't care what they'll do to break any of the God laws, statutes, and commandments, as long as they're getting that paper. You know what I'm saying? Whatever America want them to do to get that paper, that's what they're gonna do. They will sell their soul.
What you said was absolutely the truth, and that was perfect. Like that goes right into that's the same thing that we've been talking about all night. You know what I mean? That's just like the same reason why we celebrate all these evil holidays, and the same reason why, you know what I mean, we sell ourselves to get rich in this nation. And you know what I mean, he gained the world. I mean, I'm sure there's not much in this world that he didn't see. I mean, I'm sure that there's not much in his world that he didn't get the experience, and he got the, you know what I mean, he was doing a lot. From what I hear, you know what I mean. Of course, I wasn't there, but you know what I mean, from what I'm hearing, there was a lot going on at the, you know what I mean, at the parties that he was throwing, and the lifestyle that he was living for, you know what I mean, however long he was a icon, you know what I mean, a music icon, or you know what I mean, a mogul in this evil empire. But you know what I mean, he was, you know what I mean, he gained the world, but what did that what does that profit him now? What does that profit him now? You know what I mean? I believe I can't, let me think of the story. But I think they set his bail or something. He tried to basically buy his way out of this situation. Like I think his bond was set at like it was up there. It was like $800,000. It was up there. And he was like, pay it. He was ready to pay it. I think it was a couple million actually. I think I might be lowballing it there, but he was, regardless of whatever, it was more money than you and I will ever see in our lifetime. And he was willing to pay it, and they denied it. They was like, nah, it ain't gonna be like that. You know what I mean? So it's only so far, you know what I mean, your status and your seat in this earth and this empire is gonna get you. So I mean, so what the brother just said was absolutely exact. And I mean, that's why Christ was posing this question: for what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his soul? You know what I mean?
So like it's like man, you also gonna use this scripture for the pastors and that's in the church because they for like man like an ISUPK we can't even get grants because we label as a hate group. You know what I'm saying? But you see the mega churches around them, they get a grant. They get granted a minute, just to sell their souls, just to go in there and teach against the law, statutes, and commandments, teach that the law is just done away with. You know what I'm saying? They go up in there Thanksgiving, they probably having a Thanksgiving party inside the church. And Christmas come around, they probably put a Christmas tree and ornaments around the church. You know what I'm saying? Just to get that grant to open the church. So they could get that tithe money. They could get that what they be passing out, the offering money when they be passing out doing Sunday service and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So they selling their soul just the profit off of Christ. They pretty what they're doing, they're making the hustle off of Christ or the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So,
you said it was heavy. What? So you go and finish 26 and then read 27. It's gonna say exactly what you talking about. It's gonna tie it all together.
Verse 26. Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?
See, what would you give for exchange? So, you know, it breaks my heart to see, you know what I mean, a lot of black people, Hispanics and Native Americans who claim that they this percent Native American, and then they forget about all of that for the sake of some turkey and some ham and some. And I don't know if you know, but you know what I mean, you can make if you want to, if it's about the turkey and if it's about the family, like we say, you can just make turkey and candy yam any day. You know what I mean? I love me a good, you know what I mean, a good bird, good lawful bird and some candy yam. You know what I mean? You can get together with your brother and your family any day and make that candy yams and you know what I mean, and some bird. You know what I mean? You could get your family a gift. You can get your family a gift any day. You don't have to put it under a tree. You know what I mean? But the fact that you feel the need to do those things on those designated days, the reason why you know what I mean? The reason why even though we claim to be Native American, we have this percent of Native American in our blood, we still feel the need to celebrate Thanksgiving is because, you know what I mean, we ready to give up, you know what I mean, our soul. We're selling our soul for turkey and a Xbox or a PlayStation 5. You know what I mean? We that's what we're you know what I mean, what shall a man give in exchange for a soul? We giving up. We, good night. Like you can't. You know what I mean? Once you separate yourself from the Most High, once you have chosen to, you know what I mean. Once you have denied the Most High, once you have denied your culture, and you have joined yourself to your oppressor, then you know what I mean. What can be done after that? You know what I mean, go ahead. Read verse 27.
Count, verse 27. For the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels.
This is what we waiting for. We waiting for Christ to crack that sky with 2 million angels. You know what I mean, and the glory of the Most High. And go ahead.
And then he shall reward every man according to his works.
According to his money,
According to his works.
according to his purple dress,
To his works.
according to how he was swallowed up.
To his works.
That's what the Most High is going to judge you on. You know what I mean? According to your belief and your faith. You know what I mean? Like the Christian church, how hard you just believed, right? That's what you gonna be judged on. What did that say?
It said, and then he shall reward every man according to his
You're
works.
gonna be recorded. You're gonna be rewarded according to your works, not according to you know what I mean how hard you believed and how you was crying with your hands up and you had the biggest white hat and the longest purple dress and the shiniest. You had the Stacy Adams with the Alfani suit and the. I mean, you had the whole nine. That's not what the Most High is gonna judge you on. He's not gonna. He's not gonna reward you according to how much money you made here. He's not going to reward you with how much you loved your oppressor and how much you just loved everybody. You know what I mean? You forgave your oppressor for the you know what I mean, what they did to Sonia Massey, what they did to Breonna Taylor, what they did to Botham Jean, what they did to, you know what I mean, Sam DeBose. You forgave your oppressor. That's not what the Most High is going to reward you. He's going to reward you according to your works. Let me get real quick. Let me get the book precept. In the meantime, so here. Let's get let's get let's get Proverbs 14 and 12 real quick. Then we're gonna get another one.
This is a book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 12. There is a way which seemed right unto a man,
There-
but the end thereof are the ways of death.
There's so many ways that seem right to a man. There's ways, I mean, the ways that we choose, it seemed right for us to vote for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. It seemed right for us to celebrate what's it called? I almost say Oktoberfest. What the hell is that called? Halloween. Yeah, yeah, Salakia. Yeah, I'm from Cincinnati. They do that a lot in Cincinnati. But
It's like it be like, if I'm misunderstanding, I think that Oktoberfest them be like they come out there switching wives and husbands. I think I'm not sure.
oh
I think so. In that Germany thing, I was stationed. I think that's what they be doing where
man,
it's like a swinger thing. Sure.
I, I don't know because you already know that nation of people. I mean, they come from that nation of people, they come from uh, the Roman and the Grecian, and that was what they was on. They been on that type of time. They just on some. It's just night. Like I can't even know where to start with that.
That's what the Matthew, nothing you just gave me or what?
Uh, not not necessarily. Let me see. Not necessarily, not directly, but it does describe our people and the spirit of our people. Okay. So I wouldn't necessarily call it a precept, but something like that. Are you gonna read it again, Doctor? That's like,
Oh my God, the book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death.
there's some things that we do as Black Hispanic that seem right. It seems right to do all those things that I mentioned before. But what we gotta understand is that us voting, us celebrating these evil holidays that we know don't make no damn sense to us. Like we know that, you know what I mean, it don't make no sense for us to be sending our we well, we know it don't make it, we know that it's wrong for us to be celebrating, you know what I mean, Thanksgiving, knowing the root of it. That's why, or else why would we change? I mean, or else why would we change the there we go. It's like you. We know that it's wrong, or else why would we change the spirit behind it? You know what I mean? Everybody, you ask your aunties right now. I guarantee you can call your auntie up right now. You can call your grandmother up right now, your brothers, your cousins, and be like, "Hey, yo, you know what I mean? The found, the root of Thanksgiving is the slaughter of, you know what I mean, blacks, Hispanic, or Native Americans, and them still in the land, and you know what I mean, this, that, the third. You can ask them, like, you know that, you know what I mean, you know that this is the root of it. You know that this is the foundation of it. Why you feel the need to still celebrate these things? And what they gonna tell you?
So like it, and you said that, but some of them don't even know. We assuming and they know, but they don't know the history because that's all they know is that American history they teaching in social studies in that grade school, in high school.
That's
What do you think they teach in high school and grade school? You don't think they teach that Indians got slaughtered, right? They teach Pilgrim came in. They got together with the Indians. It was kumbaya.
right,
They killed a turkey and they cook it together and they ate together.
right.
It was kumbaya.
Now you sure right. You should give yourself a hand. Let me ask the I know some blackity black woke folk up in here though. I know some woke brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? Yeah, you woke up in this chat. Let me know what your woke family say. You know what I mean? You know anybody that's woke? You, or you know what I mean? What the world calls woke? You know anybody in the world that's woke, quote unquote? What would they say if they did? Let's just assume that they do know, right? What they gonna say then? Like, oh yeah, yeah, I know the history because we all know everything, right? You can't teach. You know what I mean? It's hard to we stiff neck and like the scriptures say, we stiff neck and rebellious. So it's hard to teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans anything. Why? Because we already know everything. So you try to teach your mother, your brother, you know what I mean? A lot of times, our aunties, our uncles, our sons, our daughters, we try to teach our family anything, and they like, oh yeah, I already know. Yeah, I'm already hit. Yeah. Yeah, I'm already woke to it. But let me just give you what the answer that I always get. It's always, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know that this is what happened to the Native Americans and that was evil and this, that, and the third. Because the same people that's going to be eating that turkey is the same people that was marching up and down the streets talking about Black Lives Matter. The same people that was going to the, protesting for the Native Americans on the reservations when they was running that pipeline. The same people that was, going to the voting booth trying to vote to try to keep Donald Trump out. Not knowing that Kamala Harris was a snake, or whether they knew or not, they was voting for the lesser of two evils. Them the same people. The reason why a lot of us, a lot of our aunties, our uncles, our grandmothers, grandfathers, mothers and fathers are going to continue to celebrate Thanksgiving, even though it's an evil holiday dedicated to the mass genocide of Native Americans, is because it's for the family. It's for the family, and it's the only day I could get off. And you know what I mean, we gonna make it. It ain't gonna be Thanksgiving. We ain't gonna celebrate it for that. For us, oh my god, I hate hearing that. Man. It's like I know that that's where it came from, but for me, it's for we like to remix it. We like to put the Christian remix on it. You know what I mean? Where we like to say, "Oh, I know where it came from, but for me and my family, this is what it means to me." You know what I mean? That we can't do that. We can't. That don't make no sense. You know what I mean?
So like it I made,
Please.
like now is new. Now the new excuse is like was that I heard that this the only time family can get together
Come,
because it's the only time people get off of work.
come.
So that's why we're gonna do it. We have a family gathering because we want to get everybody off on work based on this time because America let us
Damn.
off our slave
Who let us off?
America.
That's
That's what
crazy.
I'm saying. So it's the new excuse they use now.
Come. Yeah, that's yeah, that's good. That's exactly the point. That's exactly the point. The reason why you only feel the need to get together on this day and do it the way that they tell you to do it, because okay, let's say it was about the family. Why do you have to follow your oppressor's holidays to a T exactly how they tell you to do it? Why, if Christmas ain't about Saturnalia and about the LGBT LGBTQ HDTV, yeah, the if it's not about that, and if it's not about the what's his name, Nimrod, and if it's not about the traditions of the Greco-Roman uh captivity that we still in, if it's not about all those things, then why do you celebrate the holiday exactly to a T how the Grecian and Romans celebrated? How Nimrod kept or Nimrod's mother, who was also his wife, the disgusting bastard. You know what I mean, why do you keep the traditions exactly how they kept them? Why do you only the fact that first of all, I'm gonna get straight to the chase. The fact that you can only celebrate this holiday because, or the fact that you can only get together because your oppressor lets you off on this holiday, lets you know that you're a slave. Because if it was really about the family, then and you really genuinely thought that you was free to do what you will, and you was just like, you're not in slavery. You're just like any other white man or East Indian or whatever you name any other nation. If you genuinely thought that and believed that in your head, then you wouldn't you wouldn't have to you wouldn't have to wait until you get off on a specific day that your slave master gives you. You could just get together any day. But you can't because you know that you're a slave.
So
Please go ahead.
I got a question. You been to a family reunion before, right? What happens? Who's at the family reunion? No, I'm saying I'm asking. Is it like a general question? Like who's there? More
Yeah,
like if you're there is your family, right?
yeah, yeah. The family's
Is
there.
that your family there, right? So
Yeah,
who? So it's they usually pick people to be in charge of gathering people together, putting out the information, itinerary, what so forth. You know what I mean? So right. So they people that's in
right.
charge, they put it together. It usually happens on what? Mostly happens on the weekend. So back to the I'm saying back to the Thanksgiving. So they're going to use that. Well, also on time it could be off because our slave and Americans let it be off on that day. But you could put together a family reunion on the weekend, orchestrate everything, get put in itinerary, and everybody show up. So why you gotta wait till Thanksgiving to do something? You put together family reunions, you know what I'm saying? So there's no excuse. They're just a cover up.
Now that's a heavy point. That's a heavy point because that show does happen.
Yeah.
I mean, we show do orchestrate them family reunions. You know what I mean? We could do it just like you know what I mean, we do them family reunions. We can if you really miss your family and you wanted to get together over some turkey and some you know what I mean, some mashed potatoes and some gravy, then you could do the exact same thing that you did for the family reunion. But so now let's get to the nitty gritty because he just broke it down. So with that being said, why don't you do exactly what you do for the family reunion? Why do you instead wait until the third Thursday of Thanksgiving, just or third Thursday of November, just like your oppressor does? Why do you wait until the 24th or the 25th of December to decide that you thinking about your relatives?
Right.
Why do you why or somebody's birthday? Why do you why do you decide on the you know what I mean January 1st that you're gonna finally get your life together? That you're gonna stop smoking all that weed or you know what I mean eating all that pork that got your granny in the hospital with what's it called? Hypertension, you know what I mean? All these diseases that we contract from our, you know what I mean, from our diet, what we eat. You know what I mean? Why do we wait until your oppressor? Why do we wait until it says on the calendar to do it? Because we're slaves. It's so strange to not do it. It's strange to, you know what I mean, when your oppressor, when you know what I mean, when your oppressor says make you a turkey and make you some mashed potatoes and candy yams. It's strange to go and you know what I mean. It's strange to forego that. It's strange to decide that you're not going to celebrate the mass genocide of your ancestors. I mean, so we do those things. It's strange not to have a big old tree in your house. It's strange to not decorate your house from top to bottom and have the lights out. You know what I mean? It's strange not to put a bowl of candy for some little kids, which is crazy. That's creepy. That's creepy. Like you a grown man putting a bowl of candy out for kids. Hey, look, yo, Salak, I believe that alone. But that's crazy. You know what I mean? But the reason why we feel like it's strange not to do those things is because we're a slave and we trying to save face. We trying to save face for our oppressor. Like if we get Joshua 24 and 15 real quick. Because we caught in limbo. We trying to play both sides. And the most high said that, you know what I mean, he don't he don't want you lukewarm. He'd rather you be hot or cold. But if you lukewarm, he'll spew you out. He gonna make the decision for you. You know what I mean? You decide he wants you to either be hot for the truth or be cold. And you know what I mean, go all the way left. But if you on a fence, he gonna make the decision for you. If you don't know what choice to make, he just like that's how you know that he a god of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans because that's how we feel. You know what I mean? I be seeing all these bitter posts from all these brothers and sisters. I mean, I be seeing them, and brothers and sisters be like, if you got to choose between me and somebody else, choose them. You know what I mean, that's what our people say. That's exactly how the Most High, our Father, feels. If you got to choose between the Most High and the law, statutes, and commandments that He gave us, and the culture that He gave us, versus the culture that your oppressor beaten to you, go ahead choose the other thing. Choose them. He'll make it easy for you. He'll spew you out his mouth if you lukewarm. It's like you gotta read that when you got it.
Come on, the book of Joshua, chapter 24, verse 15. And it's like, and if it seems evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye would serve.
See, people call us a hate. I'm still. If you're in the chat, you know what I mean. Any Christians or anything, or anybody who's an individual, like there's no, you know what I mean. This is a safe space, right? We brothers, we family. You know what I mean, this is a safe space. So if you If you feel like we a hate group, if you feel like we wrong for anything we do in the ISUPK, I mean, go ahead and put it in the chat and let us know. But brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? I don't know about y'all family, but I know my family, they say that, oh, I'm in a cult every day. And I challenge them with the same question every single time. How? Prove it. What prove it. I'm in a cult. No sweat. I could very well be in a cult. This could be in a cult. This could be a cult. This is I'm gonna go ahead and double down. This is a cult. You know what I mean? Need some cult leaders up in here. Show me, show me. Show me what's cult like in here. Well, show me what's so wrong about being in the ICBK. Show me. And I've never gotten an answer back. And I guarantee, I can almost guarantee that if you did the same thing to your family or anybody that tried to challenge the, you know what I mean, the authority of the ICBK, then they would tell you the same. They would tell you the same thing. They wouldn't have an answer for you. They would. They just spewing the same rhetoric. They spewing just like a child does. They spew and regurgitate what they see on TV, what they see on the internet. So because the Southern Poverty Law Center called us a hate group on the internet, and you see how, you know what I mean, you listen to what's his name. I don't even want to get these people no time. I ain't gonna name no names. But you see, you know what I mean, these podcasts and these panels that try to portray the ICBK as a hate group. You know what I mean? You believe them. You see them and you like, see, they a hate group. See, I knew it. They a cult. You gotta stay. They too. What's the worst? What's the worst? You know what I mean? What you got something?
Yeah, like so, like if I may, like that, the definitions of a hate group is like is the definition of hate group is like someone's belief, uh, conviction, or ideal that doesn't line up with American society. That's a definition of a hate group. That's right. Crazy. That's crazy, right? So you look at American society as a whole, you know, and as you became, we follow law, statute, and commandment of the Most High. American society doesn't. Good. Majority of the laws is against Christ, the Most High. So who really is the big hate group?
That's it right there.
Right? Who really is the big hate group?
Right.
America itself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To call us, you know what I mean? To call us a hate group, that's insane.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
God, that's heavy right there. Like it sounds like America is the hate group.
Right.
But we don't hate nobody. Not for no reason. You know what I mean? We don't hate nobody. I mean, you see Black Hispanics and Native Americans, we serve in your military. We fought in your wars. You know what I mean? We joined your police force. You know what I mean? We work in your slavery. You see us clock in, and you might see a big old shield of David around our neck, but we clock in and clock out at your slaveries every day. You know what I mean? We don't hate you. You know what I mean? Not for no reason. We don't just, you know what I mean? We ain't got no personal problem with you. But we do see the evil that happens in America to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and there's no retribution, and that there's no empathy and there's no compassion for the Lord's chosen people. We do see that, and we have the courage to say it, to say something about it, to recognize it. We see what you're doing. We're not about to be like your Martin Luther Kings, where you abuse us and you beat us and you sick dogs on us and you lynch us in the streets and you mass genocide us and you lock us up at exponential rates and you do all these things and abuse your authority over Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and then we just act like it don't happen. We just continue to beg harder and harder for acceptance in this country. We're not like that.
Right.
We're going to let you know that what you're doing to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans is absolutely wrong. And for the love, out of the love of our brothers and sisters, we're going to warn our brothers and sisters about you, oppressors. Any oppressors that has had a hand in oppressing Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we're going to warn our people about you, because our oppressor is a cancer to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. If we don't cut that cancer out of amongst our people, and that cancer is going to spread and continue to affect our people to where we feel like the only way out of this hell that we live in is to vote for the lesser of two evils, is to celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving just like a good little church boy. You know what I mean? We want more than that for our people. Read that what you got, Joshua 24, real quick.
Now we got the book of Joshua, chapter 24, verse 15. Read from the top. And if it seemed evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye will serve.
So if it seems evil to serve the Lord, if it seems to just instead of, you know what I mean, if instead of celebrating Christmas, celebrate the feast of dedication, which has everything to do with you. Christmas doesn't have anything to do with you. Doesn't have anything to do with you. Doesn't have anything to do with Christ. Doesn't have anything to do with the Bible. But it does have everything to do with your captors, your oppressors. So instead of celebrating Christmas, celebrate the feast of dedication. But if it seems evil to you to celebrate the feast of dedication, where we triumphed over our oppressor, where they destroyed our temple and they burned down our churches like they did, I believe in that was in Texas, right? They burned down the church. Where they burned down the church. You know what I mean? They you know what I mean? Where they if it seems evil for you to to celebrate a holiday or a high holy day from the Most High God, where they destroyed our temples like they do today, where they defile, you know what I mean, our holy places, where they mass genocide us like they do today, where they you know what I mean, where they just destroy us every chance they get, like they still do today. You know what I mean? Their military and their police force. If it seems evil for you to celebrate a time where we triumph over our oppressor and put our people right, I mean, choose who you gonna serve, man. Choose whether you're gonna be hot or cold, because that's what the Most High wants. He wants you to be either hot or cold. And if you're not hot or cold, then the Most High will spew you out of His mouth surely, and He's gonna make that decision for you. Go ahead, Ludo.
Common Khan. Choose this day whom ye will serve, rather the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood.
Whether you gonna decide, because again, the reason why the reason why we destroyed today is the same reason why we were destroyed back then, is because we wanted to have a seat with our oppressors. Where so choose who you gonna serve. You gonna serve those who, you know what I mean, who's on the other side of the flood, because Pharaoh and them, Pharaoh and them was on the wrong side of the flood. They was on the they was on the wet side of the flood. they was on the they was on the Or you know what I mean? You could take it back to Noah. Where the Most High told Noah to build this ark and he's gonna destroy this place because we wanted to serve these other gods and we wanted to do these abominations. We wanted to do these abominable things. You know what I mean? Sodom and Gomorrah was full of the LGHBTV activity. You know what I mean? And the Most High destroyed the earth because of that. Full of interracial marriages. You know what I mean? The Most High destroyed the earth because of that. And so choose who you gonna serve. You gonna choose. You know what I mean? Who survived the flood? You gonna choose who was on the other side of the Red Sea when the
Right.
Most High wiped out the Egyptians. When the Most High wiped out Sodom and Gomorrah. Or go ahead, read on.
Or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwelled.
So we in a you know what I mean, in Egypt. You know what I mean. We dwelled in Egypt and we was amongst the Egyptians. You know what I mean. They had their custom and we had ours. And the Most High has been trying to separate us. You know what I mean? We fast forward today. You know what I mean? We dwelling in America. Yeah. With Caesar Borgia as white Jesus. You know what I mean? And we dwelling in the land of our oppressor. You know what I mean? And we got the option to choose, or I don't want to say option, but you know what I mean? You can choose, you know what I mean? America gives you the option to choose between you know what I mean, whatever poison you would like, whether you would like the, you know what I mean? But ultimately, you know what I mean, it gives you the option to choose whether you're gonna serve your oppressor and serve their customs and follow their customs and their ideals. You know what I mean, to fit in with them. Or you can fit in with the people where you actually come from, what your culture and identity tells you to do and how to dress and how to walk and how to talk and what to celebrate. You know what I mean? But you only got two options. Go ahead, read on.
Count con. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
But as for us in the ISUPK, you know what I mean? Us in the ISUPK, you know what I mean? We uphold the standards that's always been the foundation of, I mean, what the it's we uphold the standards of what the Most High gave us since the beginning. You know what I mean? We read these records and we keep the, you know what I mean, we keep the law, statutes, and commandments. We keep the rank and order, and we stay disciplined. You know what I mean? And we, you know what I mean, we keep these traditions that was passed down from the men above us. You know what I mean? That was passed down in these records. You know what I mean? Thousands of years ago. So you could choose, you know what I mean? You could choose whatever you want to choose. You could choose to serve the most high God. You know what I mean? You could choose to stand here. You know what I mean? You could choose to serve the most high God, or you could choose to serve America. But as for us in the ISUPK, as for this family, as for my brothers and sisters under this banner, we gonna serve the Lord. Like you. You was about to say something? Okay, no sir. Let me get John chapter 11 real quick. Chapter 11 and verse 47. Or actually, we'll start up with, I believe, 45. Let's go to it. Level 45. Take the chat. Y'all got any questions? You know what I mean? You go put them in the chat. Don't worry about whether it's on or off topic. We put it in the chat. We'll get to it. We'll pause the lesson, and we'll, you know what I mean, get to your question, and then we'll get back to it. But and we could like we could really go all day on this topic. We could really go all day on this topic because it's just the Bible is full of this topic. The Bible is full of us. You know what I mean? Full of the Most High giving us the upper hand amongst all these nations, and then despite all of that, we choose these other nations. You know what I mean? Since the garden, you know what I mean, the Most High separated us. Most High separated Adam and Eve from all the other nations, from all the other cultures and ways of life. And in the wilderness, he carved out a garden, an organized place for Adam and Eve to rule over. You know what I mean? To give them the upper hand, to give them some, you know what I mean, some structure in a wilderness. And we still chose to follow after, you know what I mean? We still chose to learn from these other nations and follow after their custom. You know what I mean? Even you know what I mean, you fast forward to, you know what I mean, even with you know what I mean, all throughout the Bible, you know what I mean, we could, you know what I mean, go to the book of Joshua, the book of Exodus, you know what I mean, the book of Deuteronomy. We was in the wilderness, you know what I mean? The Most High took us out of Egypt in our captivity, and we envied our captivity. We missed our captivity. We was daydreaming about our captivity. You know what I mean? You can go to the book of Joshua, or it's like you can go to the book of Judges, and you know what I mean, the Most High told us to separate from these other nations, and we chose to have them amongst us. We was making marriages with them, and then, you know what I mean, they did exactly what the Most High said they would do. They would overthrow us, and you know what I mean, be a thorn in our side, and constantly just just abuse us. You know what I mean? Go to the book of Maccabees, where, you know what I mean, the Grecians, they got us to trust them. And then as soon as we trusted them, they came and destroyed us. You know what I mean? You go to the book of Judith, you know what I mean? They knew that the only way that they could get the upper hand over us is if we put aside our law, statutes, and commandments. But the reason we could go all day on this topic because it's all through the Bible. That's what these records are for. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, the Holy Bible, the word, the word Holy Bible, the phrase word, it's like the phrase rather, Holy Bible means separate records. Separate meaning holy, Bible meaning records. You know what I mean? But these records, these separate records will tell you what happens when we choose another nation's ways of life over our own? It's like you go ahead and read verse 20. Where are you? 45? Come, Bible Kashad.
This is the book of John 11, chapter 11, verse 45.
Verse 44.
Verse 44. And he that was dead come forth.
Well, verse 43.
Right. It's the book of John, chapter 11, verse 43. And when he thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth.
Lazarus, come forth. So just to give it just a little backdrop, Christ is raising a man from the dead. So I believe I can't remember who it was, but somebody came to him. Somebody came to him. Who was his sister? Let me see. His sister Martha. Yeah. They came to him was like Lazarus been dead for 3 days. Lazarus been dead for 3 days. They didn't wrap him up. They about to bury this dude, right? Christ came to him. He was like, "Oh, he's yet sleeping. He just sleep." You know what I mean? He raised him up from the dead, and he told him to come forth. Go ahead, read on verse 44.
Come, verse 44. And he that was dead came forth.
And he that was dead came forth. You know what I mean? That's an amazing thing. You would think that you see, you know what I mean? You see these brothers who was dead in the, you know what I mean, in the world who was, you know what I mean? You see your cousin who was out there selling drugs and robbing brothers and just being as violent as could be. You would think that now, you know what I mean? You see that brother coming in, getting you know what I mean, getting familiar with his Bible, reading these scriptures, getting familiar with his culture, being able to, you know what I mean, lead brothers, you know what I mean, raise brothers up and sisters up, being able to protect brothers, you know what I mean, prepare brothers and sisters for, you know what I mean, this coming turmoil that's coming to America. You would think that that would be a good thing, right? Where we at? Salaki. And he that was dead came forth. You would think that, you know what I mean, that would be a good thing. You literally see somebody raise up from the dead, like out his grave. You know what I mean? He wrapped up, he's stinking. You know what I mean? You thinking, you thinking he done for it, and then he get raised from the dead. You would think that that would be a wonderful thing. That would be. You wouldn't believe it. Go ahead.
And he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave clothes.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. He was wrapped up, ready to go. They was ready to put him in the dirt. They was ready to feed the worms. Go ahead.
And his face was bound about with a napkin.
Yeah, they thought he was gone. Go ahead.
Jesus, Yahushua, said unto him, loose him and let him go. Verse 45. Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Jesus, Yahushua, did, believed on him.
You would think that this would be the result, right? Where you see brothers. You would think that this would be the unanimous result. Where you see somebody raised up from the dead. We all like to see that, right? Where that's what every Christian believe, at least. You know what I mean? They gonna do what they do, and they gonna sing and dance and be as wicked as hell, and eat all the pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster that they can, and be as, you know what I mean, drug dealer, drug user, drug abuser, whatever they want to do. But when they see Christ, they gonna drop all that and they gonna change. That's what a Christian think. But go ahead, read on.
Come, verse 46. But some of them went their ways to the Pharisees.
Some of them went their ways to the Pharisees. Go ahead.
And told them what things Yahushua had done. Verse 47. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees at council, so like a council, and said, what we do, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles.
So this man do many miracles. You know what I mean? This man is doing miracles. He raising people from the dead. He healing the sick. He, you know what I mean, healing the lame, making the lame walk and the blind see. You know what I mean? And doing all these miracles. He doing all these miracles. They talking about what do we? So You would like to think that, you know what I mean, you saw, I know every Christian think that if they saw, you know what I mean, a man levitate or float or whatever the hell, or, you know what I mean, you see somebody heal you with a holy jacket or whatever nonsense they doing in a Christian church, you would think that everybody would believe, you know what I mean? You see somebody get raised from the dead, you would think that everybody would believe. But this is what your Christian church does. When they see the works that the ISUPK does, we go to the New Mexico level 4 of cartel territory. When we go to Puerto Rico for the fourth time and feed those brothers and teach those brothers the truth. You know what I mean? You see the mighty works that these brothers are doing, where you see brothers that strung out on drugs and homeless and eating out of the trash come in here and become mighty priests and prophets and leaders of this nation. You know what I mean? You would think that you would leave that brother alone. You know what I mean? You would think that our people would be grateful that your cousin that was eating out of the trash is now a mighty prophet in his work, man. You would think that a brother that was out, you every time, you know what I mean? Every time a lot of our brothers and sisters, our cousins and our, you know what I mean, nieces and nephews and uncles and all of that, you don't know when the last time you're gonna see them because of the lifestyle that we choose to live. You know what I mean? We feel like we got family to feed. We feel like we gotta rob one another. We feel like we gotta be in the street gang banging and, you know what I mean, selling drugs and, you know what I mean, using drugs and this, that, and the third. You got an alcoholic mother, alcoholic father, drug addict mother, father, auntie, uncle, you know what I mean, ready to, you know what I mean, you know what I mean, kill themselves. You know what I mean? Ready to drive off a cliff because they can't bear to, you know what I mean, live life the way that they live in it under this oppressor. You would think that if we took that same sister that wanted to take her life, that same sister that couldn't afford to keep that baby, so she felt the best thing to do was abort it. You would think that if you took that same brother who thought his only option was to sell drugs and brought him in here and turned him into a leader of men and gave him another option, you know what I mean, made him a new creature, you would think that you would just leave him alone. You would think that you would applaud that. Go ahead, read on. But let's see what the your Christian, because the Pharisees and Sadducees is your modern day Christian pastor. We're gonna get that in a second as well. You know what I mean? But your Christian, your Pharisees and Sadducees is your modern day Christian pastor. You would think that they would just leave him alone. Like, yeah, he's doing a good thing because your Christian pastor, they claim to do these miracles. They claim to be for the betterment of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They claim to have the answers for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, to be the religious authority, the spiritual authority for us. They claim to want the best for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So you see the best thing that could ever happen to a black man, to where now he had no hope and now he has hope. He had no strength and now he has strength. He had no wisdom and now he has wisdom. You would think that that would be an excellent thing. But you're going to see the real spirit of your Christian churches. Go ahead, read on, Salaki.
This is verse 48. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him.
So that sounds like a good thing. All men will believe on him. What's bad about that? He's raising the dead. He's doing all these. He do many miracles. That's what they said, right? That's their words, not mine. Go ahead.
And the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation.
Do you know why? Even though these Christian churches see the miracles that the ICBK is doing, they won't turn their churches over to us. They won't shut down their churches. Do you know why? Even though the ISUPK has been established since 1969, and some of these fake Israelite groups will send you to watch ISUPK videos, they will send you to watch ISUPK breakdowns, but they won't shut down their camp and join back to the ISUPK. It's not because we're evil like they try to convince us. It's not because we're a hate group like they try to convince you and try to sell you. It's because, read that last part again. And the Roman.
And the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation.
Their concern is that the Romans, their oppressor, is going to take away their place in their nation. Their concern is that.
So like if I may,
Please.
that sound like I heard a lot of people when they say Donald Trump, when Donald Trump become president, you vote for Donald Trump, they gonna they wanted to put it back in slavery. So so you need to vote for Kamala Harris because you vote for Donald Trump. If we get elected, we're gonna go back into slavery. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty much the same thing. Like, oh, don't do that, because we're gonna lose everything. We're gonna lose our place. You know what I'm saying? It's just like they thought about the Romans. How you can't believe on Christ. You believe on Christ, the Romans gonna take our places because they, like you said, they worry about their place. Just like the Christian pastor, they don't want to give up their church. You know why? They worry about their place. You know what I'm saying? And they know it. They know what we say in the ISUPK is the truth. You know what I'm saying? Because we one body. So you could go in the hood. You got like 11 different churches in the proximity about 2 or 3 miles. You go in one church, they teaching the Trinity. You go in another church, they're saying God, is Christ is not God. Go to the other church, he's teaching Trinity. Another church teaching something else. They're not even one body. They're not. You supposed to be you supposed to be on one body. So why are you teaching different doctrine in each different church? That's tell you they lost. I mean, they false prophets. You know what I'm saying? So that's
no, what you said was absolutely correct. Now, for this precept, I wouldn't make it so much so about Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Like, right. I wouldn't go there with it because none of them are good. Neither one of them are good. So voting for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, either way, you know what I mean? You're voting because you want a place here. You know what I mean? Voting for one or the other isn't going to get you a place with the Most High.
I do was saying that because some people thought, Kamala Harris, like you said,
yeah,
ISUPK, we don't vote. So it's, like I said,
right.
Vote for the lesser evil. But what I'm saying, that you was using it as an example, using how you try to, if you vote for Donald Trump, they're gonna put it back in slavery. But because they, when most of the people that's voting is lost. See what I'm saying? They don't want to lose they don't want to lose their place. That's why I use the analogy because of Donald Trump. They think he's a racist and they don't want to go back into slavery, which they don't they're in captivity now. So, but in their mind, they don't think they're not, but spiritually they're in captivity. You know what I'm saying? So,
okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's heavy. You saying they're trying to get a place here, and they think if they vote for Donald Trump, they're going to be set back. You know what I mean? But what they don't realize, what you're saying, you vote for either one of them, you gonna be set back regardless. And that's so heavy. Like that's such a foundational. You know what I mean? That's something that if Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans could grab that one thing, then we could. That's you know what I mean. We're gonna be so much closer to real freedom. You know what I mean? You think freedom is being able to what I mean get on a yacht. You know what I mean? Get on a yacht and be able to take 2 or 3 vacations a year. Real freedom is that you don't have to work. You don't have to work under your oppressor and try to put in for, vacation time and try to ask your oppressor for time off. Ask your oppressor for sick days. That's real freedom. The Most High is trying to give you real freedom. And real freedom is ruling over these other nations. But, instead, we'll forego real freedom for just a seat. Just a seat with our oppressor because it looked good now, but little do you know that this place is falling. Thus saith the Lord, at the hand of the Most High. Prophecy of the Most High. I believe we pulled a scripture earlier saying that same thing, that the Most High is, that Christ is going to come in the glory of the Most High with his angels and judge this place. And you're going to be judged and rewarded based on your works. You know what I mean? So us trying to fight for a seat in this place is, we're only setting ourselves up to fall with this place because there's a judgment coming for this place. So you can see the Sadducees and Pharisees, just like your Christian church, just like your politicians, they want to take you away from the truth. Because if you were to believe that you were the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, or if you Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans were the Israelites, if you were to believe that and understand that and follow, come into the ISUPK and learn your culture and become a master of your culture, then your Christian pastors would lose their seats. You know why? Because the Christian churches will be empty. They'll be empty. And that means that they're not doing their job. for America. Because remember, the only reason why Black Christian churches were established was to, teach lie, teach the skewed version of the Bible, teach that servants be obedient to your masters so that you could be better slaves. That was the whole point. That was the whole point. And if them Christian churches is empty because all our Black, Hispanic, and Native American brothers is in the ISUPK, if them Catholic churches is empty, then that means they're not doing their job, which means they lose their seat with their oppressor. You know what I mean? So they can't have that. So even though they know that the ISUPK is the home of the truth, they have to fight and struggle and battle you to try to teach you a lie against the truth so that they don't lose their seat. You know what I mean? And that's what we're looking at today. You know what I mean? Even though we know it's evil and wrong to celebrate Thanksgiving, even though we know it's evil and wrong and that there ain't no fat white man coming down your damn chimney. Guess why? Guess why? Somebody blow my mind. Why is there no fat white man coming down your chimney? I want to see some answers in the chat. I just want to see what's on brothers and sisters' minds. If you're a Black, Hispanic, and Native American, why is there no fat white man coming down your chimney? And if you got anything, please feel free to do your thing. But even though we know that these things ain't real, we still do it anyway for the same reason, because we want a seat. We want a seat with our oppressor. We just hoping and praying for a seat. And if we just look like a normal, you can't come to the office party and, the ugly sweater party and all of that. And, you come in regular clothes or you don't come at all. You know what I mean? You at risk of losing your job. I've seen a lot of time in person, and I've heard stories as well. You know what I mean? Where a lot of the promoting and a lot of the promoting and the decision to where, who's gonna be in certain positions at your slavery. God damn, this brother on point. But I heard some stories where, these brothers you get hired for a position in your job. A lot of those positions become available, or you get a lot of those positions by going out. You know what I mean? Where a lot of those decisions are made based on whether you are, comfortable enough to go out with your coworkers or your superiors. And when you see them doing the weird things in the parties, and you see them saying weird stuff and doing these strange drugs, and you see them drunk and slurring and all of that. How you act? You know what I mean? If you too cool for school to go out, then you're not gonna get that promotion. So what you got to do? You got to join to them and follow after what they do, and you got to get high with them. You got to do some old freaky kiki LG HDTV LGBTQ stuff with them. You know what I mean? To make them comfortable, to let them know that you cool. You know what I mean? What this brother said was absolutely correct. The reason why there's no fat white man coming down your chimney, Black man, Hispanic man, and Native American man, is that you don't have a chimney. You never had a chimney in your 20, 30, 40, 50 years of living. You have never had a chimney in your life. You probably never seen a chimney. Yet we putting gifts up under the tree and baking cookies for Santa and doing all this prep and telling our children these lies. What's the point? Why are we telling our children these lies? Why are we telling our children these lies? Like, oh, this is Santa coming down your chimney and sleighs bells ringling and all that garbage and Rudolph. You know what I mean? Why we going through the motions of telling your children these lies and you know damn well you ain't even got no chimney for no fat white man to come down? That is called breaking and entering. That is called home invasion. But as long as America tells you that you know what I mean, there's a fat white man coming down an imaginary chimney, you know what I mean? I guess it's all good then. But you know what I mean? This is the type of thinking that we got to get away from. You know what I mean? It's I know it sounds silly, it's supposed to, because it is silly. Because the things that we believe in is silly. And we got to realize that the reason why we do these things, the reason why we go to these, we support the LGBTQ community, the reason why we celebrate these evil holidays, the reason why we eat these abominable things, this pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, is because we don't want to lose our seat. We want to be close to our oppressor. You know what I mean? We want to be a part of their society. We want to be a part of their you know what I mean, their upper class. We want to join ourselves to them, man. We want to live the American dream. But the American dream is what got you here in the first place. You know what I mean? The American dream is the reason why you're considered three-fifths of a man. The reason why you stuck in the ghettos, the reason why you stuck in the barrios and on the reservations, the reason why you know what I mean, your police force can take the lives of thousands, hundreds of thousands of Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, and these bodies just come up missing, and nobody gives a damn about, you know what I mean, who they are or where our children are going. It's the reason why every time you look on social media, you see another Black, Hispanic, or Native American son or daughter coming up missing. It's because of the American dream that we so fighting for. It's the reason why the American dream is the reason why you got to wake up early tomorrow in the first place. The reason why you got to work overtime and you don't want to do that. It's because of the American dream. But the Most High is trying to give you the kingdom of heaven. He's trying to give you the kingdom where Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans will rule the earth, man. The scriptures say, and when the evil are in rulership, the world mourns. Or when the righteous are in rulership, the world rejoices, man. We are the righteous of this earth, man. And if only we could rule this earth, then maybe we don't have to worry about, you know what I mean, the water being poisoned. This brother said it was heavy. I mean, why would a grown man let another man come in his house uninvited late at night? Ooh, that's crazy. Yeah, that's interesting. That's a good question. You know what I mean? Why you inviting? Why is a man inviting another man in the house late at night? You know what I mean? I remember the only time I invited. Never mind. I ain't gonna make it about me. You know what I mean? But never mind. I'm gonna leave that alone. But you know what I mean? Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. You know what I mean? As a grown man, you know what I mean? You see somebody coming down your chimney, or you see somebody trying to get inside your house late at night. I don't give a damn what time it is or what day it is. You know what I mean? As a man, you're gonna defend your house. But the reason why we follow after these ideals, the reason why we follow after these customs that don't make a lick of sense is because we want to be a part of this society. We want to be part of the American dream. We want that you know what I mean? We want that white picket fence with the you know what I mean, what they with the you know what I mean? We want to work for a company for 20, 30, 40 years and then retire at the ripe old age of, I believe, what's the age of retirement now? Like what, 75? 70? Good night.
It's, I think it's 69 and a half.
Let me see. Let me try some. Let me see. What's the average life expectancy of a Black man in America?
The 2022 average expectancy in the United States of America is 77.43 years. Developing.
And this is for all nations though. This is for all nations. Life expectancy by race and gender. Let me see what this say. Life expectancy is lowest for, let me see, what does AIA stand for? Let's see. I got a graph right here. It says let's see. Let's see what this says. Let's see what this gives real quick. But the average life expectancy is 67. You said what is it, 69 and a half?
Kind of, it's like 16. I think it's 69 and a half. You get Social Security.
Good night.
So you gain your social security and and you worked all your days and you know wake up 5:30 in the morning, working waking 14 hours a day just to get 6 years of that money,
Right.
not to work.
Right. Right. And that's if you make it.
That's it. Yeah, that's what you making.
That's if you make it past 69. Like most of us, like I know my grandmother, she passed it, I believe she was 56.
So, so like if I made just imagine you've been paying FICA. You know, you've been paying FICA for all them years. From you've been working since you was 20 years old, and you decide retire at 69 and a half, 70 years old. You put all that FICA in there, and to take out your check,
right?
Just to live about 6 more years, and you're never gonna get all that money that you put in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like that's a robbery.
Right. That's exactly what it is. It's a robbery. And you gonna spend, you know what I mean? You 60, 70 years old, pushing 80. You spending a lot of that time in what's it called? What do they call it? I don't want to say a nursing home. What do they call it?
Senior living.
Yeah, you spend most of that in senior living where somebody gotta escort you from here to there in a wheelchair. You know what I mean? You done lost your mobility because you done worked 40 years in a factory hauling God knows what on your back. You know what I mean? Driving a forklift. You know what I mean? Or whatever the case is, you done spent, Lord forbid you join your oppressor's military or their police force. You know what I mean? You over there traumatized and you know what I mean? You've been blown up by IEDs and all sorts. You know what I mean? You'd have been, you know what I mean, running the streets of the most dangerous neighborhoods and all of that, and you good night. Like by the time you retire, like good night. I actually, you know what I mean. I used to deliver groceries, and I it's this one devil, right? That I did. He ordered the same thing. He ordered a box of wine, and I delivered to him, and he can't even come to the door. He's not even. I think he's like he's maybe about 60 something. He can't even come to the door. He's in a wheelchair, and he's ashamed to like he's. I'm sure he's ashamed to be seen like that because he's like a you know what I mean he's decorated. You know what I mean obviously he's been a sheriff or a state trooper for X amount of years. He spent X amount of time in the military, but he all torso. He about you know what I mean. He got about you know what I mean this much his knees left. Like he's thigh and torso and arms, and that's all he got left. And I'm just like to check the you know what I mean to be able to deliver this alcohol. I got to check the ID. So I'm looking at this picture, and you know what I mean he looked proud. He got the uniform on and all of that. He had to come to the door, and it was bad for him. You know what I mean? Like the point is like. You know what I mean? Like it's this, like the brother said, like you being robbed for, you know, be 40, 50, 60 years. And then by the time you do, if you make it to that age of retirement, you know what I mean? You busted and beat up. You spending your time in assisted living. That was the word I was looking for, assisted living. But you spending your life in assisted living. Somebody got to wipe your behind for the next 6 years. You can't even spend your money like you want to. You wanted to see the world. You can't get on no plane. You know what I mean? You got a colostomy bag, and you got a, you know what I mean? You got a what's it called? The heart, the fake heart they put up in you. You know what I mean? You got a I forget what they called it. Yeah, pacemaker. You got a pacemaker. You got a colostomy bag because you done went through hell. You know what I mean? You through. You know what I mean? You can't see the world and do the things that you wanted to do. You can't even experience the American dream that we so fought for. You know what I mean? That got Christ killed. That's what we read in the John the 11th chapter. You know what I mean? Or Christ was fighting. Christ was a revolutionary. He was trying to free Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans from Roman persecution. But the Pharisee and Sadducee, they wanted the American dream. They wanted the American dream. So they was like, what do we do? What do we do about Christ? Because if we leave him alone, then our people are going to believe on him. And we're going to lose our seat with the Romans because our churches is going to be empty. Those synagogues is going to be empty. You know what I mean? Those Catholic churches are going to be empty. Those Christian churches are going to be empty. And we're not doing, it's going to show that we're not doing our job, or we're going to lose our job. We're going to lose our seat. And go ahead and read verse 49. The lock in.
Count the book of John, chapter 11, verse 49. And one of them called Caiaphas, being the high priest, that same year, said unto them, Ye know nothing at all. Verse 50, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and the whole world, whole nation perish not.
So this is what started. Caiaphas prophesied that Christ would die for the entire nation of Israel, rather than a whole nation perish. But this stemmed from the fact that they were willing to sell Christ. And you know what I mean, you fast forward to you know, Barabbas and Christ being on trial with forget who the dude was what you know what I mean. But they were trying to decide whether they was go free Barabbas or free Christ, who was an innocent man. You know, they chose Barabbas. You know what I mean? And then you fast forward to, you know what I mean, Judas selling out Christ. You know what I mean? All of that was to even Judas selling out Christ, because Judas walked with Christ. Judas was with him the whole time, and he sold him out. Why? For a couple dollars, because he wanted a little bit of piece of heaven. He wanted to experience a little bit of piece of relief in your oppressor's heaven, and he sold out his brother for it. That's what we do, because we want to see. We want to see what it's like to be an American. We want to see what it's like to live that, you know what I mean, to live that lifestyle. We want to see what it's like. But that's what's gonna keep us destroyed, man. That's what's been keeping us destroyed, man. And that's the same thing that happens when we celebrate Thanksgiving, when we celebrate Christmas, when we vote, you know what I mean, when we join the military and the police force, and we, you know what I mean, we join ourselves to our precious kingdom. That's why you know what I mean, it's important for us to decide who we gonna serve. You know what I mean? It's time for us to it's that's why it's important for us to choose this day who we gonna serve. Whether we're gonna serve the gods of our fathers, you know what I mean, the gods of the you know what I mean, the gods of our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, uh the priest of prophets in his Bible, you know what I mean? Keep our law, statutes, and commandments, keep our culture, find out who we are as a people and live it, you know what I mean, do this work, or we can do what we did in the wilderness. As soon as we delivered, we was crying and fussing this whole time, just like we do today. You know what I mean? We crying about that 9 to 5 work, how we got to work 2, 3, 4 jobs. We on child support, but we work all these jobs, and then we get that pay stub, and you'd have made 2,000 something dollars this week, but then your bottom line is $44 and some change because of all the child support that's coming out. You know what I mean? We whine about all those things. We cry, we pray about these things. We pray for a way up out of this hell. And then as soon as the Most High delivers us, just like he did us out of Egypt, we we pray our way. We wish we envy our oppressor. We choose his ways, man. And we wish we was back. We reminisce on the times when we was back in slavery. We could go to you know what I mean, the flesh pots and eat. You know? It's time for us to choose, man. As for us in this house in the ISUPK, we gonna serve the Lord, man. We gonna keep this culture, man. Teach brothers and sisters to do so, man.
Lucky.
Please go ahead.
It's like if I may, there's a scripture that was heavy on me. John chapter 15, verse 19. Like a lot of our brothers and sisters, Latino brothers, Negro brothers, and the Native Indian brothers, like, you know, they understood they wasn't part of America. America as the world, American world. Like I say, we came here on ships. You know what I'm saying? Just to read the scripture here, John chapter 15, verse 19. If we were of the world would love his own, which we not. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hate you. You know what I'm saying? We knew, I'm saying we would never be loved by America. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why every day we try to get the oppressive love. And we not if it been like how long they been established? Like 200, like 217, 200 some plus years America been established, and we still seeking their love. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna keep it away from our most high, our God. You know what I'm saying? Just following their ways, the heathen ways. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we gotta get back to. We gotta get back to our God, find his law, statutes, and commandments. If not, it's gonna be a rough time when Christ come back. You know what I'm saying? Some of us gonna be standing, some of us not. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be begging for mercy. And see, I don't know Christ, I don't know Most High is gonna give it to him. You know what I'm saying?
You said was absolutely heavy. We sitting here looking, we doing all this stuff looking for love. You should be looking for hate.
Right.
You know what I mean? You think you hated being in the LGBT, the LGHDTV community? You think you being hated there? You're not hated. You know what I mean? Some people might not like your lifestyle, but they accept it. You know what I mean? We're not accepting it here, but you know what I mean? Some people, they might not like your lifestyle, but they accept it. But you know that you're not hated because you know you're not hated by the world because the world makes provisions for the LGBTQ community. The world makes provisions for you to be able to use the same bathroom as some. You know what I mean, you're a 6'9" grown man. You can use the same bathroom as a young girl. They make provisions for you, so you're not hated. But us in the ISBK, we're hated. You know what I mean? Like the brother just said, which was heavy. That was a heavy and excellent precept. You know what I mean? If you was of the world would love you. You know what I mean? But because you're not of the world, because we in the ISUPK, we're not of the world is going to hate you. You shouldn't be looking for love from this world. You should be looking for hate. You should be looking for them to hate you. When you wrap your meat tree and you go teach, you know what I mean? You come to ISUPK, you sell yourself for the world, and you do your 90 days, and you come in here, you become a trooper, you become an officer, you get on that podium, you teach, you know what I mean? The world is going to hate you for what you say. When you say that that celebrating Christmas is wrong, it is evil. When you say that you're a traitor for celebrating Thanksgiving, the world is going to hate you for that. When you say that what your police force and your military does to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, taking their lives and taking their freedom and taking their livelihood, you know what I mean, away from them, you know what I mean, they're going to hate you for that. When you tell them that, you know what I mean, when you say that what America does to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans is wrong, they're gonna hate you for that. Even your own people. We say the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of, when they're the number one deceiver of this earth, that people are gonna hate you for that, man. You should look for the hate. You should look for people to hate you, man. Because if they hate you, no, they hated Christ. They hated Christ first, man. But you get started, if you want to get started, man, you want to get started on the right path, you come in at ISUPK, man. You learn the truth according to the Bible. You know, you understand, if you come up in here, you're gonna learn and understand why they hated Christ. You're gonna understand why they hated Christ, man, and why they hate you. With that, you want to add anything else before we close out? Make sure you like us, share the class. You know what I mean? Like, share, subscribe to the class, man. Like and share, you know what I mean? Support the truth like you support, you know what I mean, TikTok, you know what I mean, your favorite TikToker. Like we all supported you know what I mean, when Mike Tyson and Jake, what was it? Jake Paul fought, you know what I mean, on Netflix. Like us, you know what I mean, share and support the class, share and support the truth like we supported Netflix that day. You know what I mean? Like we support the NBA and the NFL. You know what I mean? Like we support Netflix and Hulu and Tubi and all of that. You know what I mean? Let's support this truth, man, so we can get the hell out of hell, man. Let's find out what Christ was talking about, why Christ was hated. So we can get the hell out of hell, man. So we can get our culture back, man. To show the Lord that we are not of this world, man. That we want his kingdom. We wanna, you know what I mean? We want to come back to our culture and be called children of God again. With that, say I imagine, which means stand. Give courtesy to the brothers. The vision of Major Shabbat. I imagine. Barak. Yahweh Shibi Al Shah Brakata. Yajibatah. So, do turn face sisters. Give courtesy to the sisters. The vision of Major Shabbat. I imagine. Barak. Yahweh Shamar Lathan Ba Shibi Al Shah. Yajibatah. 36 minutes.